So I've been using the MovMax Blade Arm with my Osmo Pocket 3 for around 6 months now, and I figured that now was the right time to do a little review on this amazing little piece of kit. I've done a few trips since then and have accumulated a decent amount of shots, and I feel like I've really had some time to work out the kinks and put it through its paces and kind of figure out where this thing's strengths and weaknesses lie. So right off the bat, I have mainly good things to say about this thing, with the price coming in at around $160 for the Blade Arm bundled with the jitter reducing hoop connector. This thing is amazing value for smaller creators wanting to emulate those big budget camera rigs for things like tracking shots, rolling shots, and those Hollywood-esque kind of through the windshield type shots. It comes with the Blade Arm, a few counterbalance weights, a suction cup protector, and a bag to store it in. The setup for this thing is super easy. Just find a spot on your car, wash the area with soapy water or cleaning solution, dry off the area completely, and then mount the suction cup. There's a little suction stopper you'll push in until the red line disappears, and then you'll be good to go for mounting the camera. After that, just adjust the arm so that way the main arm with the MovMax logo is level, so that way you can maximize the full travel of the shock system built into this thing. For safety measures, because I don't like the idea of $700 slipping off my vehicle while driving and possibly damaging or hurting something, I went ahead and purchased some metal camera tether cables and carabiners on Amazon so that I can tether this to my vehicle. This has already saved me once, so I do it every time now. I accidentally bumped the Blade Arm into a rock when I was backing up, not thinking about the extra distance that it added to the rear end of my vehicle, and the suction cup broke loose instantly, and instead of the whole rig crashing to the ground, it was just gently swinging back and forth, attached to one of the hooks in my truck bed. So crisis averted on that one. Definitely recommend those metal cables for making sure that the thing is secure, you know? So into the meat of the video here, I've done 3 or 4 types of shots with this thing mainly, and these shots seem to work best with the Blade Arm. So the first type of shot, which is going to be this thing's bread and butter, is the side or rear mounted tracked car roller shots. I'm sure you guys have probably seen some of these on social media and stuff lately, but so this thing is great because when you're paired to the Pocket 3 with the DJI Mimo app, you can highlight subjects and track them on the fly. So this is amazing for run and gun setups, and here's why. So generally on pro shoots with these roller types of shots, as a rule of thumb, you need to have a team of at least 2 to 3 people in one vehicle. One to focus on driving, the other to focus on operating the camera, and you're going to want to have a spotter, and that's someone who can monitor and keep safety in mind and communicate between the crew and the other driver. So what's different with the MovMax Blade Arm is you can cut down your team to maybe 2 people, and on closed roads or flat open areas, you could even get away with just driving and operating the camera at the same time by yourself. The reason for this is with the DJI Mimo app control, you can adjust the camera settings, highlight the subject for tracking, and then after that point, you can just focus on the road or driving and just communicate with the other driver with like a CB radio, or you could even just use your cell phone with the Bluetooth in your car. This thing is a game changer for run and gun types of video shooting because it takes a lot of the variables out of the equation, so you can just focus on getting the shots framed properly and lining up with the other driver. Not only that, but you can just let it roll for like 10 minutes or so and film an entire road or trail and get a handful of different cool shots while you're focused on driving. Super cool and eliminates the need for a huge planned out shoot with a bigger crew, which is really important on smaller scale projects. So the second type of shot that I use this for is the through the windshield shot, which is super popular in movies, and I've been seeing people on social media do this a lot lately, like people that do vlogs and stuff. But you basically just set up your Blade Arm on the hood of your vehicle. You can throw a polarizer on the Pocket 3 to get rid of those reflections in the windshield, and you're pretty much golden after that. Open up the app and make sure the Pocket is locked to the windshield area, and you can just focus on driving or talking for the vlog or whatever. I use this type of shot probably like 10% of the time, but you can see how it could be useful for like documentary work or vlogs or even short films or things like that. I've even used it on like music videos and things like that, so it's really useful. The third shot I love to use this thing for is what I like to call the vehicle POV, or the interstellar exterior spaceship shot. This shot is a super cool way to show your vehicle traveling from point A to point B and kind of provides a cool perspective that you're not normally going to see from a stabilized camera like the Pocket 3. Normally people would probably just go for throwing a GoPro or Action 4 up on the roof and call it a day for this kind of shot. Another trick I've done with this shot is for when launching my drone. So my truck has a camper shell on it, and I love using it as like a big flat surface as a launch and landing pad for it. So like in this specific shot right here, I've parked my truck and set the frame up to already be showing the landscape I want to film. And then you can see me launching the drone on the side of my truck, and then as soon as I fly the drone forward, I'll switch to the shot that the drone is getting. That way you can add another dimension to the story or vlog and just kind of show the audience what it would look like to fly off the edge of that lookout from the drone. Now the fourth kind of shot is similar to the third in the sense that you mount it on the roof of your vehicle, but rather than using it as the straightforward first-person view of the vehicle driving, we're going to be using this thing as a mini shot over. And shot overs, if you don't know, are those super expensive, fully remote controlled, like full-size cine housings that they use for these types of shots on commercial shoots and in Hollywood, usually from like a helicopter. And even news networks use these things now to get shots of traffic and city shots even. So we set the Blade Arm up on top of the vehicle and start driving. As we're driving, we can have a passenger looking out for cool landmarks or tracking shots as we're driving down the road. When they spot one, they can move the camera around to it and begin tracking it either manually or automatically with the app, and kind of just get those cool moving tracking shots of landmarks, signs, or like landscapes as you're driving past them. So now that I've shown you guys how easy this thing is to set up and the types of shots we can get with it, I kind of want to talk about the negatives I've run into when using this product. So the main issue, and the biggest one in my opinion, is the micro jitters. If you're going too fast on a road that's a little bit too bumpy, the Pocket 3 can get overwhelmed from the forces, and you'll notice that you'll see some like wobbly jello effect in the corners of your frame. And like any lights in the shot will kind of get like this wobbly effect to them. And if you're really sending it like in this shot, you'll see that even the focus motors in the Pocket 3 get vibrated like crazy, and it'll struggle to even keep focus on the subject. Now, your mileage may vary here. It really depends on the conditions of the road you're on and the speed that you're going and the type of suspension that your vehicle has. So if you're doing these roller shots on a nice, even paved road, you'll likely have little to no issues with the micro jitters. Anything I've shot on a paved road looks pretty smooth and usable. But this past weekend, we drove our trucks out to Johnson Valley here in Southern California, and we wanted to get some shots on a dry lake. Now, this was mostly a flat dirt designated road that was carved out by other vehicles over time, but I definitely still noticed some micro jitters in our footage. So for context, I have a lifted Tacoma with a 2.5-inch mid-travel suspension lift. I have 33-inch all-terrain tires on it. I have rear reservoir shocks and a full leaf replacement kit, so my truck's decently built. And my buddy that was filming his shots of me has a 3-inch lifted Tundra with off-road shocks, so driving on this road at more spirited speeds was really zero issue for us in the cab. But since the Pocket 3 and the Blade Arm are operating at a much smaller scale, those vibrations from the road are going to be amplified, so that's definitely something you have to keep in mind. If you're going to do this in a vehicle that maybe isn't built for those types of conditions, you might find that the footage could be even less usable than what we got. One last thing to add onto the micro jitters is that you have to keep the wind and air moving past the camera and Blade Arm in mind. When doing those first person and shot over type tracking shots on the top of the vehicle, you have to be very careful not to overwhelm the motors on the Pocket 3, because there will be wind resistance that you're not feeling in the vehicle because you have a windshield in front of you. I've had many times where I'm getting the shot and it looks great on the phone screen preview in the Mimo app, but as soon as I get to my editing station at home and I pull the footage up on a bigger display, all the shaky and warbly footage will just kind of become apparent immediately, and a lot of the times it makes the footage unusable. Now, I want to clarify what I would consider usable and unusable, because that could differ from person to person, but for the sake of stuff like social media or YouTube content where most viewers are going to be watching on a phone screen, it's likely going to be a non-issue. But if I was hired to do any type of commercial work or ad work using this, I likely would not feel comfortable using the setup if the road wasn't completely smooth and the footage wasn't perfect. For expensive, more professional work, I would definitely set up a proper full-size camera body on a mounted gimbal and use like a video transmission system and wireless camera control system, all that good stuff. But I feel like you can't really fault the Blade Arm too much here, because it allows you to get those commercial types of shots for your social media or YouTube for $160. It's an amazing value, and I definitely think this tool is a huge asset to any creator looking to up their production value or scale up their skills for a more affordable price, and most importantly, getting outside to touch grass and have some fun outdoors. That's right, kids, get off of Marvel Rivals, go outside and touch grass. So that's pretty much going to be it for this review of the MovMax Blade Arm. I absolutely love this system, and it's earned a permanent spot in my gear kit. I bring it on every adventure I go on lately, and I've just been amazed with the types of shots I've been able to get with this thing. It's so easy and convenient, and it just blows my mind. I would highly recommend this product to any content creators or filmmakers who already own and really like the Pocket 3, and if you're looking to get a Pocket 3 for this type of shot, I'd say it's really worth it. So you can get some really cool stuff with this thing. So anyways, guys, I'm going to be doing more of this type of content and more outdoor, like niche filmmaking kind of stuff, so I definitely recommend hitting that subscribe button if you're into this type of stuff. But anyways, this has been Heartbeat Media. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day. Peace.